Bob Cartwright.
And I'm Amy Cartwright.
But so this is it. It kind of works. Everything comes in on the left and slowly works its way to the right as it moves through the system. Let's go ahead and step on in.
Rob and I were both fortunate enough to work at some really good brew pubs in Austin. He was a brewer at the Copper Tank. Pretty much really loved pale ales and hoppy styles. And
That's how I convinced her to do it, really.
And really have an appreciation for malty, styles as well. Basically, I really think that where American brewers are taking off is the fact that we have a regional aspect, and it's like we want to represent where we're from. And I think that Austin, out of a lot of places in Texas, people had gravitated towards more interesting styles before some other places in Texas. And
so we call these two tanks the brew house. This is where what people think of as brewing is actually going on. This is where we take the grain, the malted barley.
Well, since we started, I think the Austin, people in Austin have grown like how we've grown.
Yeah, the palates have progressed a lot.
People, you got your hophead lovers out there.
So the last element is yeast. So what we do is we call it pitching the yeast, and we do that by basically pumping it into the tank.
There's a reason why California has so many microbreweries and brew pubs. There's a reason why Colorado has so many micros and brew pubs.
So once the yeast has had a chance to be saved, if we want to save it or pitch it into another beer, we'll pump the beer off of the yeast bed through these side valves.
Because there are so few per capita in Texas, there's a lot of room. And it's like you really see there is a next wave even getting ready to start.
So we have coolant that runs around through those coils and keeps these tanks at about 36 degrees. There's layers of this insulation on the outside. It's wrapped like 6 times in foil insulation as well, so that's why it looks Jiffy Pop.
I just think it's an evolution of the marketplace more than anything. You've got the people that started and then you get your next wave and your next wave. And
honestly, we age beer for like 48 hours mostly. That's about it, with the exception of pales and IPAs and Jasperilla.
I see there's going to be, the brew pubs have to come back. They all closed. It's like it was like a death wave in reverse.
So once we had a chance to age, like the pale ale, we put dry hops. We add extra hops in the aging tank because, we got to get more hops in there.
We just hope that what will eventually happen is that the distinctions and the laws between brew pubs and micros will be lessened.
Ready to package. And so we'll hook it up to either our bottling line, which you can see here.
If brew pubs can be able to distribute their beer, and we as a micro could be able to have people who visit buy some beer on premise, that if those two allowances are able to be made, like some of the distinctions between the two entities
almost effectively
will be diminished.